Hey guys, welcome to another look back over New Zealand's biggest gap year, where a few years ago, Robin and I did 365 days of 365 activities all around New Zealand. And in today's episode, we are going to be doing a Lord of the Rings filming location tour in Twizel. So check out the video to see what that experience is like. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be going through the comments and questions you guys had the first time we published the video. So see you toward the end. This morning we're meeting Dawn from One Ring Tours and a couple of Tolkien nerds.
My name's Brady, from Australia.
Oh, we won't hold that against you, Brady, okay?
I'm Katie and I'm from Australia with Brady. We live together, so probably not as big a fan as Brady is, but still pretty up there.
Twizel has a couple of unique aspects. It is the largest location of any movie filmed in New Zealand, and it is the longest consecutive filming location for Lord of the Rings. 32 days that they were here, Peter Jackson was only present in Twizel for 3 days. Now, do you know why? Nobody had ever filmed 3 movies consecutively before. So they had 7 units working simultaneously throughout New Zealand.
We're going to be seeing some of the biggest filming locations from The Lord of the Rings, more specifically in The Return of the King. So Dawn takes us to our first location where she's got a little booklet full of screenshots so we can really see the filming locations and actually see which parts of the movies they are from. For instance, in this location, this is the mountain backdrop where Gandalf and Pippin cross the river from Rohan to Gondor. And then it is on to our next location, which we actually have to access private land to get to.
And as soon as we reach our second location, Dawn has even more stories to tell us.
If you've been to the circus or a festival, that's the way I would describe it. Now here, it was massive. They had 4 massive tents or marquees, a film, a food, armory, makeup and costume.
One of the awesome things about going on a tour with One Ring Tours and speaking with Dawn is that she's not just a tour guide, she was actually here. She was actually one of the extra during the film shoot. She was here with her horse and she was one of the riders during some of the massive epic scale battle scenes that The Return of the King features. So between the first-hand commentaries from Dawn and the stunning sceneries, we can't help but being transported into the Tolkien's world, or at least Peter Jackson's version of it. This tour is not only for Lord of the Rings nerds like we are, it's a formidable way to get an insight into the world of movie making. It's absolutely incredible to hear her story and the scale of this enterprise.
So you come here, you're employed for I think 13 days, you have both Rohan and Gondor parts. You're paid $100 a day for you, $100 a day for your horse.
One of the really cool things about this filming location is that this gravel road is the only one left in the South Island from when The Lord of the Rings was filming in New Zealand. And in this location actually is where the scenes from the Pelennor Fields battles were filmed. More specifically, it's when the riders of Rohirrim charge onto the field, as well as that moment where Éowyn stabs the Witch King in the face. Then Dawn escapes for an instant and she comes back with the first costumes of the day.
Some happiness.
Yeah!
Okay guys.
We are now getting the chance to dress up as Gondorian warrior and it's our first nerd cam of the day. Taking the poses of the brave warrior ready to be slaughtered to their death, we are taking heaps of absolutely amazing pictures. We are trying to take the most epic shot that we can. Our Australian friends are going first and things get a little bit weird at some point. That's probably how you do things in Australia. I'm not really sure that's not how we do things right here in New Zealand, but as soon as Laura and I get a chance to take some awesome pictures as well, we feel the urge to fit in. So I'm taking heaps of epic shots, give the helmet and the armor to Laura, and here we are. We are now behaving like our crazy Aussie friends. This is probably the funniest shot I have ever done here in New Zealand, and that's one that we're gonna have to keep for the bloopers at the end of the year. I'll be a gentleman and just say that it's thirsty work to be a horse. Moving on from our crazy antics, Dawn has even more location to show us, and she's taking us to another epic battle location.
Dawn is now taking us to the very hill where the riders of Rohirrim charge into battle at the Battle of Pelennor Fields. And as you might have guessed, we now get to reenact that very scene, this time with some Lord of the Rings weapons. There's something about holding a sword and a flag which makes you feel so epic, especially as we are in the very field where the scene was shot. There are so many awesome photo opportunities, and actually Dawn is giving us some really fun ideas for our photos as well. Before we hop back into the van and go to our next and final filming location of the day.
Although the tour is 2 hours long, it really feels that we've been only here for a few minutes. We are having an absolute blast on the road with Dawn, visiting all those awesome locations. And before we arrive to the last location of the day, Dawn is taking the time to give us her last pieces of insight.
And this is actually quite a tricky scene because it's all about mathematics in a way, because they have to measure. So they take the cameras and they put markers in the field.
And after such an insightful tour, Dawn is handing us out more props to recreate some of the most iconic Lord of the Rings scenes. And we are taking it to a whole new level this time. Go ahead, judge us.
You're meant to wear the beard.
They left me behind. Just because I'm filming. There's no reason to make me exercise, is it? Those goddamn tour guides.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that experience. I know I really enjoyed doing that experience, being a huge Lord of the Rings nerd that I am. But now let's take a look at some of the comments and questions you guys had when we published this video the first time. So Scotia's Place says, looks absolutely amazing, what a great time. It really was. And Chad and Steph says, this looks like an awesome time, what a fun time. Nico World Travels says, what month did you go? Really would love to see snow-capped mountains, but at the same time I want semi-warm weather. So in terms of the month that we went, I'm not 100% sure now at this stage, but if you are wanting to go there and actually see some snow-capped mountains while the weather is semi-warm, I would say the best time to go would be maybe around October time. So that's just that's in spring, just after winter. So during October, there's still snow on the mountains, but you know, it's not as freezing as, well, freezing as cold as it would have been in winter. Of course, in October, you'll still need to, you know, have a warm jacket and some layers and stuff like that, but it will, I mean, it's semi-warm, it's mild, it's comfortable, so that would be a good time to go. We had Matt Borrell saying, I'm heading there tomorrow. I was going to do this, but it doesn't look like my type of thing. Thanks for the video. I saved myself a bit of money. Well, there you go. Yes, as our videos do show you sort of the real experience of what each activity in New Zealand is like. So, I mean, not every activity is for everyone. So I'm glad that we can show you enough so you can make the correct decision for yourself. We have Chasing Adeline saying, every time I go to New Zealand, people ask me if I see where The Lord of the Rings was filmed. Only been there once in the North Island by Wellington. Nice video, looks like a fun tour. Yes, so on nzpocketguide.com we do have a list of about 23 different Lord of the Rings locations that you can actually visit while traveling around New Zealand. So if you do want to see more Lord of the Rings locations while you're traveling around, then head over to that article. Again, it's the 23 places that the Lord of the Rings locations were filmed. And yeah, just simply search Lord of the Rings on nzpocketguide.com and you will find that article very easily. And then we have Josh Party saying, or Zosh Party, sorry, saying, hi mate, can you fly a drone there? Any restrictions? So the location that we actually go to is private land. So there are laws in New Zealand that if you are flying a drone over private land, you do need to get permission to do that. Before we flew the drone on this tour, we did get in contact with the tour company beforehand saying that's what we wanted to do and that we would like to fly a drone if it's possible, and she got the permissions from the landowners herself. So if you want to do that for any tour in New Zealand, it's always best to ask before going on the tour, so you don't end up going there and being disappointed that you might not be able to fly your drone. There are a lot of really strict drone restrictions, especially now. Now that I'm recording this a few years after that we did New Zealand's biggest gap year, and during New Zealand's biggest gap year we were able to fly the drone quite a bit, but since that time we found that the restrictions have become more and more strict. You do need to get permission from various different councils or the Department of Conservation, for instance. So do bear that in mind if you are planning to bring a drone to New Zealand. Note that it can be a little bit tricky, but we do have more information on nzpocketguide.com about flying drones in New Zealand, so go head over to the website and check out more about that. And if you do have any more questions yourself, then you can put it in the comments section below, or join us for any of our live sessions that we do every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. If you need a notification for when that is in your time, then head over to, well, all you need to do is click on the subscribe button, click on the notification bell that comes up afterwards, and then you'll get notifications when we go live. And as always, you can head over to nzpocketguide.com for more free information. All right, I'll see you in the next video.